On the 22nd of May, a notice was handed into Parliament, giving them a month's notice, basically because they have been breaking the law. They have been passing laws without our consent. They have been taking away our freedom of movement, freedom of speech, and right to protest. That's completely unlawful and completely illegal. And on the 22nd of May, we put them on notice that they had a month to change things before we legally have the right to arrest these people and hold them to account for their crimes. So they haven't changed anything. So now we are within our rights to arrest these people. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that's what we can lawfully do now. Another massive thing's going to happen today. We are handing in a letter to Boris Johnson today that stating that there is no proof, because there's no proof, there's no evidence that this virus exists in terms of it has not been isolated. No one has followed the Koch's postulate in terms of isolating the virus, which is the gold standard for proving any virus existing. This has been backed by a lot of very highly respected accredited medical professionals. So this is going to be handed in to Boris Johnson today, requesting and demanding that they cease all the measures in relation to this immediately. So they need to cease the restrictions, they need to cease the lockdown, they need to stop all anything relating to this virus, as there's no proof that it even exists. And they really need to cease the pursuit of developing a vaccine for something that they haven't proved even exists. So that is what's happening today. We are making history. We are holding these people to account for their crimes.
We haven't needed vaccines for hundreds of thousands of years. We get our medicine from the earth, the sun, the herbs, the fruits.
We are marching because this pandemic is a scam. We are marching because when a virus infects 0.004% of the population, is not dangerous. When the ones infected, among the ones infected, there is a 0.05% of people who dies, is not a pandemic. So the whole country has been shut down for 3 months because of a fucking seasonal flu.
New Scotland Yard, you should be protecting our rights. You should be following your oath as police officers. You should not be implementing infringements on our fundamental human rights. You're meant to protect us. You're not meant to take our rights away, guys. You're not meant to do that. You're going against your oath. We do love you and we're trying to help you, but you should help us too, you know? Ask Mr. Smith.
1 minute. Remind them they have family as well and
Ask
kids.
and ask Mr. Smith, we are peaceful, loving human beings that have your best interest.
Remind them that they got kids as well.
You need to stand up for your future, you need to stand up for your freedom.
A lot of police officers are ignoring this and they have kids as well. You gotta have kids. They have kids as well. They need to stand up, man. They need to stop taking orders, man.
Love always triumphs!
Love always triumphs!
Can you tell us why you're marching today?
For the freedom of my children and the freedom of humanity, because we're fighting against each other for no reason. And the people at the top that's controlling us and playing us like Monopoly. So that's why I'm marching, so we can have free and stop wars and all this nonsense that's going on.
A fantastic day today! And if you remember, it was just, a week or 10 days ago where we just managed to speak, and 2 weeks before we weren't able to speak or do anything. Now we've got hundreds, if not thousands more people following us. And this is the measure of our success. But we are, remember, we're still in the summer of discontent. And if we do not win, then we'll lose big time. And we'll be followed by a 100-year winter of death, destruction and terror. Now, for the purposes of people who are not here, let's just be clear. This lockdown is not for you, it is against you.
Yes.
And now you can see, as a fact, that more and more people are dying from being kept out of the NHS than supposedly are being saved by the lockdown in hospitals. We also know that social distancing does not work. We know that in countries where they've done none of that, they've had a better result. Like in Belarus, you're 25 times less likely to die of COVID than here, and they did completely nothing about it. And we know that any virus can't last 3 minutes in sunlight. So all this masking is complete nonsense. Nonsense. The masking is nonsense. Now, if the government cared, they would end the lockdown now and say it's perfectly safe, it's no more dangerous than any normal flu. And it's summer, so don't bother.
We're not at the other end, we're right.
However, that leads to the question, why do they continue with the lockdown then? Well, the answer is the lockdown is to just further the lockdown, to get us towards the autumn when they'll declare there's another wave of coronavirus. So that means, as we speak, that when you're wearing a mask, you're actually voting for another lockdown. That's what a mask is. A mask is to psychologically brainwash you and everybody seeing you that there's danger around you, there's contagion around you, and you have to be ready for another lockdown and to be vaccinated and tracked by a new World Order app.
No government has any right to take our human rights away. This is unlawful, this is illegal. They cannot tell us when we can leave our house. They cannot tell us that we must be vaccinated. This is unlawful. They cannot restrict our freedom of movement, our freedom of speech, our right to protest. This is unlawful. We must not stand for it. We must stand up. This is what we are doing. We will take back our freedom. We will take back our rights. And we will do it.
When you go into court, it's all corrupt from top to toe. They're just taking all your money, people, and you don't have to have anyone there, no what's the person who's in the jury or anything. They just take whatever they can, they lie, and they play with you, they play games, all to do with your straw man. Your straw man is, you're living, the straw man is dead.
Commonlaw.com.
Yeah, common law. Common law is the only way to go, people, because everything else in this world, from top to bottom, is corrupt.
Today I'm marching so we can try and get some of our human rights back and get some sovereignty restored. Literally over the past months or two, I feel like the way the government's been treating the UK public, it's unjust. How can you be passing through laws in the Houses of Parliament with no opposition to pass through the laws? You're just pushing them through with no opposition, and this opposition could be fair. I'm not saying that the laws that they're passing are unfair, but there should be two sides to every story, and I don't feel like this is being portrayed in public and in Parliament. So today I'm here to try and bring unity. That's why I'm marching with the people, as you can see. And yeah, man, there's strength in numbers, so hopefully we can get something done. Hopefully we can get something done.
So the government just made protests illegal, right, last week.
Well, as you can see, I don't feel like I'm following that, and I feel like I'm doing myself justice, and I feel like I'm doing people who are staying at home justice. We're fighting for their cause, we're fighting for their rights, not just ours.
This is personally very important for me, and we need to show presence, and we need to show presence on the streets, not only on the social media. And this is very, very important, and we don't have much time. This is really the summer of discontent. I don't want to talk about more facts and figures. All the facts and figures are out. You just need to research them, and you need to show presence on the road to get a bigger movement start, as it starts everywhere else in Europe already, especially back home in Germany. There's the goal on the 1st of August, 500,000 people in Berlin. Let's get 500,000 people in London.
It's an honour and a privilege it is to be graduated here on earth with humanity, talking the truth alongside Piers Corbyn, yes, okay, who organises, and alongside all brothers and sisters. Please remember, you are queens and kings. They have been put on notice. Treason against humanity. Treason. They offered no remedy. Are we surprised? No. Why are we here? Because we care. Because we care. And we talk about 99% and they're the 1%. Do you know what I see? Each of us are one. Okay? Don't look to others for your salvation. Look in yourself. And together, we will make a difference. Because that's how humanity works. When you know the truth. So for me, my soul is clean. I have been through enough. The same as all of us here. There is no hierarchy. There is no hierarchy of suffering. Because this is our schoolhouse. And this is where we come to learn.
Fantastic to see everyone who's come today. I was actually expecting there will be hundreds of people because this event was planned a month ago. So the thing is, we must not be discouraged, but we have to realise that we've got a window of opportunity. There's all this talk about the second wave, and then maybe there's going to be an even more serious lockdown. So we must all spread the word to as many people as we can, because one of the things I've learned from studying stuff recently, in order to stop all this nonsense, we need to have 10 or 11% of the population saying no, and then everybody else will follow up behind them.
So you both just spoken to the officers as we've come down here on Parliament Square.
Constable Cook. I actually spoke to him earlier, and my man here spoke to him just now. And it's amazing because although we're known to be a peaceful group, I think they were a little bit surprised. So I made a point of saying, hey, listen, I'm not the organiser, but I represent Stand Up, which is the main group that's here, and it's a totally peaceful protest. We don't associate in any way with violence. So any problems, we will come to you, or you can come to us. We're totally peaceful. We will remain peaceful. I showed them literature. I was like, our literature says peaceful protest. That's it. We're just standing up for human rights. And I even took the time to break it down and explain that we're actually representing the officers as well and their families. And I think they were a bit surprised, but they kind of had a little bit of respect and understanding there. And that's what it's about. Like, we're not about cutting out people and saying you the bad guys, other than the evil 1%. Obviously, they really are the bad guys. But police officers and any other officer, they're just out here doing what they feel is right. They're doing what they feel is the right thing to do. And I took the time to explain that that's exactly what we're doing. And they got it. And when you explain that to someone and you connect with someone on that human level, you get a dialogue going, an exchange of ideas, that connection, it speaks volumes. And that's what happened here today. And then it's funny because I did that at the beginning and they've left us alone. And then, as I said, my mate here, he went and did the same thing just now, and well, he can tell you what he did.
Basically, the guy asked me over, I'm guessing because the way I'm dressed, I'm not sure. He asked me to come over. Yeah, maybe. So I had my suit jacket on, he asked me to come over and he said, are you part of the group? I said, well, what do you need to know? And he said, I just want to give you some information really, if you could help me. And I said, well, okay, Constable Cook, explain what you want to tell me. So he went into detail and he said, look, I understand about the protests and what you've been doing. And he said, the overview that we have right now is that we're not going to interfere with your protest. And basically, if anyone infiltrates your group or you see anyone that comes into your group is doing anti-protesting, anything from a group that maybe not part of our group and trying to use it as to sway it a different way, he said, please contact the liaison officers, guys wearing light blue flak jackets. Contact them, they'll phone us straight away. We've got police vans in the corners around. They will come and intercept, they will interrogate those people and then obviously remove them if they're trying to cause a negative protest. And I said, oh, that's amazing. I said, what's that? Because the last few protests. He said, well, I know there's about 16 arrests that have been since Hyde Park the last 2 months, if not more. And every arrest has been an arrest, a detainment, and a release without charge. So basically, the paperwork these guys have to go through, or the issues they have to go through, to then detain us and then release us without charge, because they know they're just using the police force on us. What we're doing is lawful and it's peaceful. And they've realised now that it's best just to take the heat off us, let us do what we need to do, which is just literally inform people use our freedom of speech, use our voice, what we were given to use, and then when we spread our message, if other people wish to join us, they will be able to see the harmony, the peace, the love that we're basically exuding.
Exactly that.
And he was like, he goes, well, in that case, he shook my hand. He said, thank you for your time. He goes, I'm going to head off now, and I hope I don't have to hear from you in the most positive way. Basically, obviously, no one being called into.
I made a point. Sorry to interject. I also made a point of saying to him that there's going to be no vandalism. There's going to be no interference with the public, with traffic, with the officers doing their job. And I said, yeah, like same as what you just said. Any problems, just come and see us. We'll deal with it. I said no statues. Nothing will be interfered with because we're peaceful, we're lawful, and most importantly, as my brother here just said, we operate from a place of love. Always from a place of love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love conquers all. It unifies everyone. You just have to look around and see what effects it can have. And the beautiful thing about love is it grows. The more you give, the more you get. And then people see that exchange, and then they join in, and before you know it, it's exponential.
I just want to speak about the Lawful Rebellion. On the 22nd of May, a notice was handed into Parliament. A notice, because basically what the government is doing at the moment, and what they have been doing for a long time, is extremely unlawful and extremely illegal. The Magna Carta states that no government should impose any rules or put in any laws without the people's consent. They have been doing this for a long time. They've been doing this constantly, and we've kind of just sat back and accepted it, but we will accept it no more, because another thing that the Magna Carta states is that no government can ever take away our freedom of movement, our freedom of speech, our fundamental human rights. Yeah? And we're the people that are not allowing them to do that. We're not allowing them to take our human rights away. We're not allowing them to take away the rights that our ancestors fought so hard for, and that they put in such a beautiful, powerful, strong document that no government can ever retract or take away from it. The Magna Carta states no government can take away our human rights, and this is what they're doing at the moment. So, on the 22nd of May, a notice was handed in to Parliament. They were given a month. On the 22nd of May, they were given a month to change the restrictions, to stop imposing on our human rights. They were given 1 month to do this. Today, a month is complete. So we now stand in a much more powerful position, legally, lawfully, and spiritually. We now have the right. What the Magna states is that these people, I'm not saying this is what, I have to be very careful, because the Magna Carta states that the punishment for what the government have done is punishable by death. So this is how unlawful and illegal what they're doing is. Today, we lawfully have the right to arrest these people and hold them to account for their crimes against humanity. So this is where we stand today. This is why most of us are here today. To uphold the Magna Carta, to uphold the laws that were put in place to protect our fundamental human rights. We're here to protect and fight for them, you know? We're the remaining, we're the 99%, we're the remaining people that are willing to fight for their freedom and uphold their rights and freedom. And we need to do it, and we need to come together, and that's why we're here together. Oh yeah, by the way, just a point to say, we've been meeting and gathering in groups, in protests for months. For months, we've been within close proximity of one another for months. Being loving human beings as we're meant to be, right? Yeah, loving kind human beings. Yeah. Well, I think we're meant to be within 2 meters of each other. That's what I think. What do you think? Are we meant to stay 2 meters away from everyone? Are we meant to cover our face that God gave us, that the Creator gave us? Are we meant to not speak to one another? I don't think the Creator designed things like that, right? He designed everything very, very perfectly. We have an immune system that protects us. You know, no one has even had I haven't heard anyone sneeze. You know, I think we're quite healthy. You know, I think when I look around, everyone looks very vibrant and healthy.
And we're hugging each other.
Yeah.
And we're hugging each other.
So that's just another point.
No social distance!
Yeah.